Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! We are committed, I guess, because what's going on, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and this is my 31 days of horror movie reviews, day 3. And I made a commitment to not only doing the 31 days of horror, but this particular franchise. I don't know why. It's more of a commitment to myself to say, just see this one through. Just finish it, goddammit. Stop being a little bitch and watch these goddamn movies. But boy, oh boy, is it getting harder and harder upon every watch. This time it's Phantasm 3. You notice, along with the numbers, it's coinciding with the number of films. Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead, is a 1994 film. Now, this time it was direct-to-video. It was not in theaters. I mean, maybe I read that it had like a 1 week theatrical run at limited theaters, but for the most part, this was direct-to-video. Once again, written and directed by Don Coscarelli. I probably say his name different every single time, but it's not the easiest last name to pronounce. Now, look. If I had to say something good, they once again continue the tradition of these sequels where the beginning of the movie picks up right where the end of the last movie left off. I'm always a sucker for that. It immediately gets me sort of thrust back into the shit-ass plot that's going on with these films. And you see that Reggie is still alive. Because at the end of the second movie, it looked like Reggie died. It looked like the reveal of the hitchhiker girl, Alchemy, she was revealed to like be one of them, one of the dead people, whatever. And we don't see what happens to him, but the next time we see him, he's roughed up, he's outside the car window, and he's covered in blood, and then he just collapses. So you assume he's dead, but this movie, no, he's alive. He wakes up, and the car that has Mike and Liz drives off and just explodes. And at first I was like, God damn it. Are they really going to pull the bullshit of, oh yeah, you know those main characters that you followed? They just died at the beginning of this movie. You know how many horror films and sequels have done that to me? And it just, even if I don't like these movies, it pisses me off when films do that. But no, only Liz is dead, because fuck her, right? Who cares? I guess the actress didn't want to come back, and so they literally show her dead body on the ground with her face being like ripped off by the Ewok little munchkin people. And I'm like, damn, y'all didn't have to do Liz that dirty. You really didn't. Mike is somehow still alive, and Reggie is able to save him from the tall man. He does this thing where he like threatens with a grenade that, hey, if you don't leave us alone, I'll just blow us all up. And that shit actually worked on the tall man. Imagine that. Ugh. And so Mike ends up being in a coma, and then he wakes up. And you know what? I was looking at Mike, the actor, and I thought, he looks different from the second movie. I was like, what's going on here? I looked up and saw that they actually didn't bring back the actor from the second movie. No, they brought back the actor who played Mike in the first film. The little boy, he's now grown up, Michael Baldwin. They brought him back. And you know, normally I would say, hey, good for Don, the director. He clearly did not want to recast this guy for the second movie. The studio forced him to recast this role because they wanted somebody that could actually act. But Don, by the third film, said, fuck it, I'm going to bring back my guy. I'm going to be loyal. And then when you see Michael Baldwin act, especially as an adult, he's somehow worse than he was when he was a kid. Fuck. Every line of delivery, every line of dialogue is so awkward with no emotion put to it. I don't want to be an asshole. I don't want to be a piece of shit guy because I feel like saying this about the actor that played Mike. Woof. I actually agreed with the studios for wanting to recast that role. We probably should have brought the other guy back. Fuck. Especially the scene when the tall man shows up and just collects Mike. He just somehow gains control of his body. I still don't understand the powers of the tall man, what exactly he's able to do. But he just starts to like force choke Mike closer to him. And the way how Michael Baldwin just goes, "What do you want to do with me? Oh no." And then he just goes into the smoke and fucking gets kidnapped. Oh, really? We didn't decide to maybe do a second take on that? God damn. Now, they do something super ultra mega bizarre. Something that I am still trying to wrap my head around. These movies by far get worse and worse with each installment because it almost feels like a producer tells Don, like, hey man, you gotta start explaining some of this stuff. You need to start making this make sense as far as the devices, as far as the powers. And the explanation that Don gives every time is just like, this don't work. This doesn't make sense. Like, Jody, Mike's older brother, who was prominent in the first film, kind of the cool, badass older brother type, right? And then they just say he died in a car accident at the end of the movie. The second movie, he is indeed dead. This third film, they bring the same actor back as Jody. And at first I thought, oh, are they going to explain that he's not really dead and he's been hiding out because he thinks maybe it will protect Mike if he's sequestered alone somewhere? That would have actually made sense. But no, they brought this fucking actor back to just be like a ghost. And he's here and he's talking to Mike. Hey, Mike, I need to tell you what's going on. I know what's going on. I know how the tall man works. I'm fully sort of enveloped in this creep ass plot, but I'm still a good guy. And then he turns himself into the silver balls. Like, Jody literally turns into a ball and then hovers around them and tries to communicate with them and talk to them as the fucking ball. And then randomly, in another scene, he'll revert back to being the Jody guy. What the fuck are we doing? How in the blue hell did somebody look at this script or look at the dailies of the shooting and say, this is fucking great. We're going to picture. This is money well spent. Even though it only costs like $2.5 million to make. I just couldn't really make sense of all of this. The silver round balls. We now find out 3 movies in that they hold the brains of the people that the tall man kills. He takes their brains out, puts them in the balls, and they fly around with the consciousness of an evil version of their brain, I guess. I don't know. And they fly around and they have eyeballs in them so that the tall man can see whatever they see. I'm telling you, this shit gets dumber and dumber even as I'm hearing myself say it out loud. This is some old bullshit. This is terrible. This is awful. This sucks. Reggie ends up being more of the main character, and I can kind of say some positive things about Reggie. I'm liking this actor more and more. I know the first movie I kind of thought he was weird, but I've been enjoying him a lot, and this time he is pretty much the main character. He even runs into this little Home Alone Macaulay Culkin type kid named Tim, and it's so goofy. Tim's backstory of how his parents died from the tall man, and so he sort of trained himself like Macaulay Culkin to hold up this house and have booby traps and fend off certain criminals that try to come in, while also trying to develop a plan to get revenge on the tall man. I know this sounds goofy and dumb as fuck, but this is the type of shit that they're doing. And they run into these 2 women, black women, and I thought to myself, how is this going to go? Because it is the 90s. They might very easily get killed off. One of them does get killed off pretty brutally. But the other girl, her name is Rocky. She's played by Gloria Lynn Henry. And she ends up joining the heroes. And she ends up wanting to be a part of this, to get revenge and sort of save the day. I appreciate that they had a strong looking black woman as a part of this cast. She did not get killed off. She was one of the main characters. She wasn't a great actress, but to be fair, look at what she had to work with, and she ends up being kind of sort of the love interest, or at least Reggie is trying his damnedest to get in her pants. It's not working. Some people might call it creepy, but I can respect the fact that Reggie was trying to get with a black girl. Good for you, Reggie. You're not racist. I appreciated that. And there was a dream sequence where he does get to hook up with her. So good for you. She wasn't that bad looking either, so there you go. Now, the whole idea that this entire town is wiped out by the tall man, he's successfully killed like every adult in this town, and no one's really on top of it. No one's really picked up on it. He's still sort of a mystery. It's all bizarre. It's all goofy. It kind of reminds me of in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 6 when Freddy successfully killed every teenager or every kid in town and just moved on to the next town. That's what this tall man does. And it's more goofy, more unbelievable in this franchise. They don't even really do a whole lot with it. By the time you get to the end and the cliffhanger, oh boy, wow. Woof. The cliffhanger on how they try to set you up to care about a potential fourth film. I do not care. I thought this was silly as fuck. I thought it was goofy as fuck. I did not enjoy watching this film. This was a chore. This was rough. I want to be done. But fuck it. There's what, 2 more left? Oh, God damn it. 2? Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below if you two have seen Phantasm 3, The Lord of the Dead. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later. Please won't you save my desires on fire. Sometimes you need a little peace at home. I'm tired, so I